Hello guys, Michael here with another video. So how can we attract women through eye contact? So eye contact can be incredibly powerful if you know how to use it correctly. Many guys think that you can just look at women in their eyes strong enough, deeply enough, and long enough, and then you can actually trigger emotional connection that sparks attraction. Well, it doesn't really work that way, because if she doesn't feel anything before you're looking at her in her eyes, it will just be empty, all right? Completely empty. For example, when women, a beautiful woman, looking at a guy's eyes, deep enough, strong enough, long enough, then that guy will probably feel something, because her beauty already put him into a certain emotional state that is enough for relationship building, that she just need to look at him a little bit extra, a little bit more intensive, and he will be all hooked. But if you would do the same to a beautiful woman, she will most likely don't have those neurotransmitters that are linked to attraction, bonding, sexual attraction, and all that is needed for relationship building. She probably doesn't have any of those neurotransmitters, those brain chemicals in her brain when you're looking at her. And if she doesn't have it, what are you trying to trigger here? It's nothing. You cannot make her release neurotransmitters in her brain by just looking at her. That is not how it works when it comes to male to female attraction. So what are we going to do then when we have that clear? Well, eye contact is more like a tool to strengthen things. So if you want to be really interesting towards women, you have to be interested. And how to be interested in them? Well, is basically to be curious about them, curious about who they are, and much more about the depth that makes her who she is. And when you ask questions and then really listening, then you are going to use eye contact for first to show that you are curious about her. So when you're asking a question, for example, something like, I'm just curious, are you from here? Are you from around here? And then you're quiet and you look her into her eyes with a curious vibe. If you're looking at her, intensively or relatively curious intensively, she will feel like, oh, you really mean that question. You really want to hear the answer. And then when she answers, for example, like, yeah, I'm from here, then you can just, share something about yourself by saying that, oh, you know what, I'm from here too, and I just love this place, but I've been thinking about moving to the capital, but I like this place. But I'm curious, what do you think about this place? Again, you use the eye contact, deep eye contact, when you're asking that question, and keep the eye contact when she, when she is going to reply, or she's just going to think about how to tell you or how to answer that question. That is eye contact that works as a tool to show that you mean business. You are curious. You're curious about her. And even though it might sound like common sense, a lot of guys, they look away or they're looking at other things at the same time as they're asking questions. And that is using the eye contact wrong. You need to stay focused on her. And when you're asking a question, you're going to look at her eyes quite intensively. And then when you want to, make things more interesting, that would be if she just talking, and then you try to label, like, let's say that she seems to be happy, and then you can look her in the eye and say, it seems like you're very happy about it. You look her in the eye and you then dead quiet. Those kind of eye contact is what she remembers, because she feels seen, heard, and valued. And when you look her into her eyes in the right sense, that is when she really bonds with you. That is when she feels connected with you. You see, so if you want to spare your intensive, deep eye contact into certain elements in conversations, that is when you actually make an impact. But if you just don't say anything, or you're just going to talk about yourself, or there is no meaning in that conversation, and you start looking her deeply in the eyes and so on, you can actually come across as, I would not say creepy, but it's like not really congruent to the situation. So the main point here in this video is that when you are having eye contact with women, do it when you're asking questions. Do it when you are reflecting back. Reflecting back means that, let's say that she said that, oh, my whole career, I always wanted to be a dancer and I pursue my passion by actually moving to London so I can go to this dancing school and all that. Then when you reflect back, you can say like, oh, okay, so it seems to me that you are a very passionate person and you really take chances for things you really want. And then you look her in the eye. You know, now I reflect back. Or when you label like, oh, you seem to be very excited about it. And then you look her into her eyes. And then when you're using all those kind of questions or reflecting back or you're trying to label her feelings, that's basically tactical empathy. When you're using those statements, when you're using questions, that's when you're going to look intensively in her eyes because that makes something happen. It is like looking with purpose, looking with context. So make sure that you do acquire the skills to make things meaningful. To be able to listen, to be able to actually make great conversations. And you will do really fine by using your eyes while having context behind. I hope that makes sense. And if you have any questions, please just comment down below. And I hope to see you in the next video. And that will be about how to attract women not only by eye contact, but in different contexts. So I'll see you in the next video.